Now, I'm curious for you because, of course, you've adapted some of your own novels, Room and The Wonder, for the screen. And having been on both sides of that, was there anything you learned from those experiences that you knew as a novelist had to bring out from book onto the screen as a screenwriter?
Yeah, I'm very aware of it. And I've deliberately never put myself in the situation of simply selling my work and having somebody else adapt it because I think I would find that a real shock. So to me, it was very important to consult Helen, not just because they're the writer of the book, but because this is about their actual life. So I remember having to reach out early on and say, Helen, any chance I can change? There's something I need to change about your brother. There's something I need to change about your friend. I hardly dare ask, but Helen has been so gung ho about this project from the start. And in fact, many of the books you see on the wall of Helen's office are Helen's real ones. And the waistcoat that Claire Foy wears, the hunting waistcoat, that's the real one. And the whole family were welcoming too. That's the thing. I didn't even have to worry that the McDonald's would be, alarmed by this. They saw the whole thing as a tribute to Alistair, the wonderful photographer who was Helen's father. So they lent his cameras for Brendan Gleeson to use, for instance. So to really feel you have the thorough blessing, and also Helen being such a good writer, understands that you need to change some things sometimes to communicate the story all the more powerfully. That we weren't changing in some spirit of like, we've run a test screening and what's going to be popular. It's more like, in order to make this the strongest story, we need to change a few things. So yeah, we got complete support from Helen and their family.
That's incredible. I wanted to actually ask you, were those Alistair's real photographs that we see towards the end of
Yes,
the film? Are those
every
all?
one of them. Yeah, yeah. I remember looking up every photo of his I could find and saying, we've got to have a slideshow at the funeral because we've built him up as a character, as a father, but of course we all have public selves as well as private selves. And because Helen in the story is so into her work, again, we needed to show that she gets this from Alistair. So it's a lovely moment when, after all the chat about him being a dedicated photographer, you finally see his work, including that super famous one of Princess Diana and Prince Charles kissing on the balcony after their wedding. He's the one who got that photo. You can see in his projects, like he went to photograph every bridge over the River Thames, for instance. There's that, like special interest topic obsessiveness that he's passed on to Helen, and it comes across so beautifully in the film. There's so much he taught her, not in some preachy way, but just by being a living example of somebody dedicated to their craft. He died out there on a stormy night taking photographs in London.
I actually had to watch the memorial scene twice because once I wanted to focus on Claire's speech, and one I was just focusing in on all the photographs you could see on the projector in the
Yeah,
background.
yeah. Excellent.